Welcome to Mixed Signals. I'm your host, Cedric. Today, we want to talk about how all of our trauma, all of our opportunities, all of our insecurities, they stem from childhood, right? So, the best litmus test to see how we doing as adults is to compare us to our parents, right? And most of us want to be better than our parents. You know what I mean? Not like my parents were bad or anything like that, but I hope to see the foundation they laid and I want to exceed that. Like that's natural. That's human nature, I would imagine. So why do I look around and I'm like doing better than my parents, but I still feel like I'm like one emergency away from chaos, right? One phone call away from like chaos, right? And I don't mean like cancer or something like that. I mean like the fucking check engine light. You know what I'm talking about? Like anything. It could be literally anything that just send us over the top. Like it's an interesting time to be alive. I'll say that. An interesting time to be alive for sure. Mixed signals, yeah. And now when it comes to like using our parents as a litmus test, I'm married, right? My parents were never married to each other. They both were married, not to one another. That's another story for another day. I got four kids. I like to think that I'm a present, active father, right? Like I do have an older daughter who was from a previous life, and I tried to be there first day of school, graduation, and everything in between. But for my three children that also live with me, coach my daughter's basketball team at my son's basketball practices. I work from home, so I get a lot of hands-on with the little one, the 2-year-old. So, try to be a present parent where my mom worked nights. No knock on my mom. Like, she had to do what she had to do, work from 6 to 6. So we was out here, we was down here. Okay. My dad, he did the way that dads did in the inner city in the 80s and the 90s. I knew who he was. He was, oh my God, get this. I found this out the other day. White people call what my dad was a Disneyland dad, which is a dad who just shows up to take you to Disneyland. I can tell you this. My daddy ain't never took me to no Disneyland. I promise you that. That's a whole other story. But essentially, and I'm not saying my dad was a deadbeat dad, but it's like a deadbeat dad, a dad who only gets their kids on the weekends, who only sees them sparingly. Like white people call that version of their dad a Disneyland dad. Like that's a fucking bad thing. Like, nigga, I wish my daddy would have took me to Disneyland. Nigga, quit playing. But anyway, I got 4 kids. Work. I have a job. I don't do this for a living. I have a job. I work middle management in a Fortune 500 company. Doing pretty okay. You know, uh, consistent. Been there for over 10 years. Like working consistently. Bringing in an income, and I do all the things they told me to do, right? I'm doing all the things that they told me to do, but I'm still stressed. I still feel like I'm one emergency away from, oh boy, you know what I mean? Like, and I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. And if I am, so be it. But that's why I'm creating this space so we can talk about it, so we can unpack it, okay? It's like, I'm doing all of these things. You know what I mean? I finally get a little bit of money. We grew up without money. We grew up poor, me and Stormy. We grew up lower class. You know what I mean? Finally get a little bit of money and it's still gone next week. You know what I mean? It's still check to check. I was like, oh man, we rich. We got some money. Inflation was like, oh no, we rich. You know what I'm talking about? Like, woof. You know what I'm saying? It's another story. First and foremost, I want to shout out everybody who watched episode 1. Like, this is episode 2. I want to shout out everybody who watched episode 1. We got a little bit of steam there. I think one of the videos had like 1,100 views or something like that. And that was just last week. I mean, that ain't a lot, but that's a lot for me. You know what I'm talking about? I've been doing this YouTube thing for a long time, and I don't have no videos with 1,100 views. So, appreciate y'all. It's the video about my son wanting to be in a knife fight, which I suppose I can understand that. But anyway, shout out to everybody who watched episode 1. In this episode, we're going to touch a little bit more on finances and what that looks like. And I'm going to be transparent. I don't have all the answers. As y'all know, I don't have all the answers. I don't. But I'm here to share to maybe y'all can give me some answers. Maybe y'all will get some answers from this. I'm just creating a platform for someone who looks like me, who talks like me, who's from where I'm from, to have a space, right? And just once again, this is Mixed Signals. We call the show Mixed Signals because I'm in an interracial relationship, married to a white lady named Stormy, and we have 3 kids together. But even my previous daughter, my oldest daughter, she's with a Filipino and white lady that we went to high school together. So I've been Mixed Signals. I've been like an ambassador for the black race to these other races since I can remember, since high school at least, right? That's how I look at myself, as like a liaison, as like an ambassador. When I'm with these other families and with these other friends, like I'm representing all of black people. I know that that's not true, but that's how I feel a lot of the time. So I got to be on my 10s, and I'm working on that as far as my self-worth and who I am, but that's another story. Okay, so now I want to talk about the middle class trap. I've seen several articles, documentaries, documents talking about how the middle class is going away. There's going to be no middle class, if not gone already, if I'm being 100% honest. That's what we're talking about here today. But it's like you either here or you here, right? The people that are here, they disappearing fast, right? So the middle class trap, right? I did everything that they told me to do within reason, okay? Like, I went to school, right? Kind of went to school. I went to a college prep school in the inner city. I dropped out senior year. Based on the work that I did at that school, I still made it to college. So I went to college, finished school, right? Finished that. Kind of like Kanye West, decided I was finished, didn't actually graduate from there. But I went to school and got some higher learning, right? I did that, got a decent job, got a job in finance. I'm in the financial industry, right? Did that. Trying to be responsible, taking care of business, got a home, got my children in good schools, moved to a nice neighborhood, checked all the boxes, right? Everything that they told me to do. Try not to be reckless, right? Trying not to be just reckless and frivolous, though I do have a problem. I do like cars, so I sometimes will. I hate car payments. I hate car notes, right? Because then I got the car, I don't even want to pay it. And, it's kind of like insurance. But anyway, so that's an opportunity that I'm working on. My wife trying to get me to stop always trying to get a new car every year and actually pay a car off, especially if ain't nothing wrong with it. But we'll talk about that on another day. I did everything that they told me to do, and I still am in this constant state of angst and anxiety. You know what I mean? Like I'm just anxious, like all the time. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to fall. And I've been looking at a bunch about like bioenergetics and like just like your nervous system. And you hear a lot of people talk about it, like even Nipsey Hussle, who I look up to, admire, talked about just being in survival mode, right? Like we always in this survival mode and we can never relax. And your nervous system is actually like in this survival mode. It's telling your body, like I'm in this constant state of like, oh shit, like of angst, you know what I mean? And I did everything they told me to, and I still feel like that. Because what they don't tell you is daycare is $1,500. Nigga, that's a mortgage for somebody, you know what I mean? Or a studio apartment, depending if you're in New York or LA or something like that. But that's a mortgage for like middle America, right? And you don't even own nothing at the end of the day. Not no crayons. All you got is hand turkeys. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's a difficult time, right? And you don't even own nothing at the end of the day. While $1,500 is enough for daycare, it is also somehow not enough for groceries, right? Like groceries is like luxury items nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, are y'all familiar with Crustables? You know what I mean? Crustables, those little circle sandwiches with the edges cut off. So we get those for our kids so they can take school lunch, which is another thing. I never got to take school lunch. We always eat that public lunch or whatever, which was great, mind you. But we one time got some knockoff Crustables. I forget what they was called. If I can find them, I'll put them up on screen somewhere. But they were square. And somebody made fun of my daughter for having the square Crustables. I'm like, what? Like how? You know what I mean? Like we've evolved as children. I didn't know you could get made of for bringing your own lunch and then what you brought in that lunch. Once again, because I never brought my lunch. The only time I took my lunch was like them Lunchables when we went on a field trip. And that was gold. You know what I'm talking about? But groceries, I seen that it was Black Friday. I seen a poster. Somebody said, hey, everybody got flat TVs. Put them groceries on sale. I thought that shit was funny. Like, hey, for real. You know what I mean? Because a house of 4, how many of it is? 3 kids, 4 kids, 4 kids. A house of 6 when my daughter's here from spring break and summertime, or a house of 5 and these kids, like, Fortunately, my son don't eat nothing. Like that's a struggle every day. He don't eat nothing. But them other three, the baby and the athlete, all they do is eat. I'm telling you, right? So these groceries is hitting, hitting. Okay? And then I mentioned earlier, like my car payment is like insurance, right? Like insurance is like the we have two cars, right? I mean we work from home, so I can see why you would think we don't need two cars, but we are a busy family. Like Enzo plays sports. Rain plays sports. Rain does basketball like 5 days a week, and those overlap with Enzo. So we gotta divide and conquer. Stormy taking Enzo here. I'm taking Rain because we coach her. I coach her team. So we do need two cars. So we got two reliable cars because when I was younger, as my family, we didn't have reliable transportation. Like I mentioned that check engine light earlier. So we have two reliable cars, right? Not nothing super fancy or nothing like that, but they're gonna hit you on them car payments, right? And they're gonna hit you on that interest. And like we live in a nice neighborhood. I mean, not interest, they're gonna hit you on that insurance, right? And insurance is like, it's gotta be the biggest fucking scam, bro. Cause that shit is required. Like you gotta have fucking insurance for some shit you might need. You know what I mean? It's like Netflix. Like it's the worst subscription fucking plan that they got. It's like Netflix, but for anxiety. Like, oh, I hope some shit don't happen. Don't let me hit a motherfucker. Don't let a motherfucker hit me. But you got insurance on your house. You got insurance on your car and a bevy of other things. And you got multiple cars. And then you have student drivers, young people. Like, it's the most, oh man, I fucking hate insurance and I fucking hate car payments, like with a passion. You know what I mean? Like, but that's some shit you gotta pay and they hitting you over the head and they service is terrible. It's like the DM fucking V. Like they service is terrible because you gotta go there. They gonna treat you how they want to treat you. Fuck them, damn them, fuck them. Insurance, fucking the OG subscription model that's fucking everybody over. And then, like I said, I work at a reasonable company. I get raises here and there, right? Or I'll get a promotion into a new role and get some new responsibilities, get a little bit of money, and the fucking raises. Like if you don't, it's like you didn't get a raise. Like I know people say, oh, act like you don't get a raise, put it in the savings and shit like that. I understand all of those things to within reason, and we do save a reasonable amount. But like at the same time, the cost of living, like inflation and everything, like, so I live in Missouri. And I live in a decent area in a decent house in Missouri. And we like to travel a lot, and I like travel for work a lot of the times. So whenever I travel out to a place, I'm like, oh man, this place is nice. We could live here. I look at I get on Zillow, look at the cost of living and be like, oh, fuck no. I couldn't get the house that I have here in Missouri for what I paid for it in anywhere else, right? So I'm stuck in Missouri based on my income and what I'm or capable of doing. So we're going to just keep traveling, visiting places, and bringing our ass back to Missouri because it's the goddamn shame. And I talk about all of those things, right? Like house, daycare, cars, insurance. Let's not even get into extracurriculars. Like I said, these motherfuckers play sports. They play multiple sports. Enzo's been in softball, wrestling, basketball. Like Rain does basketball on a competitive AAU team. She plays on multiple teams, but one of those teams is a competitive team that's on the Adidas circuit, 3SSB, if you know anything about that. And they travel. You know what I mean? Like they travel, so you got to get hotels. When I'm traveling, I also got to pay to get into whatever the event or venue is. AAU this past year, 2025, was fucking $80 for adults. And we went to a motherfucking NBA game. We saw LeBron play the fucking Pelicans for cheaper than that. Like, god damn, and I'm looking at fifth and sixth graders, like, get the fuck out of here. Now I want to talk about the mental aspect of it that nobody talks about. We all talk about the money and things like that, but mental health is real, like really real, especially in our community. But so are these bills, and they don't give a fuck about how I'm feeling. Talk about all the planning, all the anticipation, and all the worrying, right? Like, just everything that goes into it is, and then like you always have to be on. Like I said, I got a job that I work, and in that job I'm interacting with I'm an introvert, but I'm a professional extrovert, right? So in my job I have to interact and engage with people all the fucking time. You know what I mean? And so I have to be on all the fucking time, and that is so fucking draining. Like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, and I know you're like, oh my God, you post on YouTubes and the internet, but I'm in this basement by my motherfucking self. Like, there's literally nobody in here. So I'm talking to a camera. I'm an introvert, right? I don't want to people. And if I do have to people, it takes a whole fucking lot out of me. Not even gonna lie to you. So being in corporate America, having to be on all the time is mentally taxing. You know what I mean? I talked to a fucking therapist for the first time this week, and I lied. I didn't lie, but he's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh man, shit's good, baby. Because he's a black dude. So I was like, I went through and found me a black dude who looks like me. And I was like, oh, baby, I'm just out here living, trying to do my best. You know how it is. You know how black people compliment each other. Oh, shit, nigga, I'm trying to get like you. Blah, blah, blah. Like, so I felt a little disingenuous while I didn't really lie, but I didn't be like, oh, man, my daddy died. My wife's daddy died. My brother got shot again. Like, all of these things. Yes, again. All of these things that are happening. Like, I didn't even divulge into that. I mostly was just like, oh, man, I'm just trying to be a good example and lead by and lead by example and show my team and my family that it's okay to talk to somebody, because there is a stigma in our community as the black community, and I'm just trying to be better. So I dipped my toes in it. I talked to him for the first time this week. We do have a follow-up in a couple of weeks, so I'm gonna try to be a little bit more transparent, I suppose. I'm working on me, baby. And why does like resting feel like a fucking crime? Like just taking a fucking nap. I remember being a kid, I used to see my mama take naps. Like I said, she worked from 6 to 6, 6 in the afternoon, 6 in the evening till 6 in the morning. And I see her take naps and I'm like, she's just taking like, what you fucking so tired for, right? Like now, shit, I'd take a nap in a fucking, I could take a nap standing up. I mean, this motherfucker like, if you look, and why is this like such a bad, like my wife, Stormy, she see me taking a nap and I know it just boils her blood. Like, look at this motherfucker in there asleep. Can't stand his ass. But I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to prioritize self-care. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't do a good job about it. Like, we always on the go. We always running. So, like, recently, like, probably this last year, I've been fucking napping. I get off of work. I got, like, 15, 20 minutes for them kids to get home from school. I'm gonna sneak me one in. You know what I mean? And the kids already know where to find me. Stormy's a workaholic. Like, I work a lot. Stormy's a workaholic. I'm like, hey, get up off that computer, go take your ass a lay down. And it ain't like I do it without. I'm like, hey, everybody go lay down. You want to come lay down? I'm like, nope, she ain't. I'm like, all right, nigga, well, I'm going. You know what I mean? I got to prioritize me. Got to take care of number one. Huh? Am I right? Got to take care of number one. But it shouldn't be that way. Like, just taking a break. You know what I mean? Like, I work from home. Like I said, I sit down here at this fucking computer and I won't take no break. Won't take no lunch. I sit down, like, if it wasn't for Stormy, like, hey, you want to grab something? I'm like, oh, shit, yeah. I'll work right through all my breaks and lunches. Because, like, whilst I work from home, I seen a study somewhere, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, when COVID happened, they thought, like, productivity would go down because everybody works from home. But in reality, like, productivity, like, went up, like, 50% or something. And if I could find those figures, I'll put it on screen. But in my personal experience, like, at work, they knew I was working. They could come over and see me. Right? We shot the breeze at the water cooler and things like that. But like at home, I'm like, I better look like I'm working this entire time. Rolling, clicking my mouse, looking like I'm doing something right. So I'm extra productive because I don't want them to think that I'm not working, which is in reality, like, it's leading to a little bit of burnout. Not necessarily with the job with my peers, but just like physically. I don't even want to take naps. I just shut down. I just pass out. If I don't know what'll happen. And I'm in terrible shape also from working from home. I used to be an athlete, used to play ball like regularly into adulthood. Now I play at my daughter's practices. Like I said, I coach her. I play there with fucking 5th and 6th graders and I be fucking winded. You know what I mean? When I used to play against grown men and now I be in that motherfucker sucking air like, you know, so I'm in the worst shape of my life from working from home because it's such a sedentary lifestyle. Sitting in front of this fucking computer for like, 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? It's you got to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally. Like it's real. It has a real impact. And all of those things are connected. That's the Holy Trinity. You know what I mean? Your mental, your physical, and your emotional bodies, they all connected. They all talk to each other. And if one is lacking, the other one's trying to pick up, and you have deficiencies. That's why it got to be balanced. You got to take care of yourself, like in real life. You know what I'm talking about? And I want to talk about like just mixed signals in relationships, right? So we talked about the money. We talked about the mental aspect of it. Now I want to talk about the communication piece and how we be having these mixed signals in actual relationships. You know what I mean? Like, um, it could be irritation, right? You irritated about something, right? Where it's like, why are you chewing like that? Why are you breathing so hard, right? Like, why? And right, and it's really a deeper rooted issue or deeper rooted cause that is really prompting this irritation, right? Or the silence in itself, right? That's enough. Or just getting defensive, right? Getting defensive. Like, I know with me a lot, I feel like I gotta justify my purchases. You know what I mean? Like, I play a lot of video games, download DLCs and all of that stuff. And then I also say like I like cars and shit like that. So I feel like I gotta defend a lot of my purchases because I am and if I feel like that, it's all root causes like these things I'm talking about, mental health and money, right? But not being able to talk about them clearly is what causes these strains and what causes this miscommunications. And it all roots back to, and while you might not say it's money, right? You might be like, why you get this brand of paper towels? Or we normally get Crustables. Why do we get the square sandwiches? We can't get square sandwiches no more because they done made fun of rain, right? Like creating this tension. It's always this underlying theme of finances that create these miscommunications and these uncomfortable situations because people don't want to talk about it. Like for me personally, like, so me and Stormy, and I know this is going to be controversial, but I don't give a fuck. Like I said, I'm here to create the space. So me and Stormy, so I pay for the house, I pay the mortgage, and I pay for the cars, right? And Stormy pays for everything else. That seems like that's not fair, but it does balance out because she pays credit cards, groceries, any like extracurricular like sports and things like that. So I don't even know if it balances out. She might end up paying more than me if I'm being 100% honest with you. But that's the agreement that we have where I know nowadays people are like, oh, we got to meet 50-50 or he got to do blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. Like, if that work for you, or if you find somebody who can accommodate that, I support that. And I would like for it to be different if I'm being 100% honest with you, because like as a man, we go out to a restaurant or something and she paying and I'm a black man, I'm insecure about my blackness so much. So much, right? So as a black man with this white lady and these kids and she paying for everything, like what they probably think I'm a freeloader or I'm some sort of ain't shit ass nigga or whatever. But you know, I feel like I take care of my business personally at home, present father and all of those things. But it does hit me every now and then when we at a place and she got to pull out the ooh-wop and be like, wow, you know, we got this, blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, we still collaborate. We still collaborative and we still communicate on the things. And whenever there's like one-off, and it's not like the mortgage and the cars take away all my money or anything like that. And it's also not like the same with what she has to pick up takes all of her money. And then we also do savings. We also have some other like little investment opportunities and things that we do here. But like for the just general income from our work and stuff like that, like it's very little wiggle room. You know what I mean? Like I said, especially with sports and travel and things like that. Like, but people don't talk about this type of stuff. Like we don't have joint bank accounts. I'll start there, right? Or I'll finish there, or I'll middle there because I don't know if I'm starting to finish or not. But we don't have joint bank accounts, right? We have a joint bank account where a portion of our money goes into to take care of all of those things that I was talking about. But we still have separate bank accounts to where we can do all of our own things. And me, because I'm a child, all of my bills are on auto pay. Because if they wasn't, if it didn't come straight out. If it didn't come straight out, I'd have a game. I'd be sitting there playing a new video game and be like, huh? Well, you saw the bills. Oh, well, mortgage. Oh. Yeah, so all my shit's on auto pay. Is smarter than me, and she also pays the credit card, so she'll have to do different things in order to make sure she has to pay the full balance on certain cards to make sure we don't get any interest, or like certain cards will have promotions. So she'll, handle those accordingly. but she has to do all of that manually. I don't know if she has to do it all manually, but she chooses to do all of that manually. So when she gets paid, she comes in, sits down, and she got on one of those little green hats, and she's tallying on the tally whacker and da. You know what I mean? So she has a lot more manual work. Where me, like I said, cars, mortgage, like with that, good to go. You know what I mean? Like old Taco Bell thing. But I'm trying my best to be honest here when it comes to bills, you know what I mean? Having conversations, being able to communicate, and just being an adult, you know what I mean? I feel like the world that my parents and grandparents grew up in, like that's not the world that we grew up in, right? I feel like the world has changed, but the rules haven't. You know what I mean? I feel like the money stayed the same, but the cost of everything has gone up. You know what I mean? Like, just adulting in general is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I want to tell a story. I want to tell a story about Charles, right? Charles from the HOA. So I live in I'm going to call it a decent neighborhood. We have a homeowners association. That can put it in perspective for you. So when you have an HOA, you got certain rules and things that you have to adhere to, like making sure your grass doesn't get a certain length, making sure you shovel your driveways and all of these things. And having this HOA that you pay into either monthly or annually, you're rewarded certain benefits, be it a pool or a park or some sort of amenities that this HOA provides. That being said, my HOA ain't shit. Which is even more insulting that this motherfucker Charles is going to come up to my door, right? So we getting solar panels on the house, right? We getting solar panels because we trying to be green. I don't even know if that's accurate or whatever, but we getting solar panels on the house. And in the process of getting solar panels, I didn't see, the guys up on the roof doing the solar panels was like, hey man, you got a hole in your roof. I was like, bullshit, nigga, this is a brand new house. We just got this house. Had to pass inspections and whoop, whoop. He's like, I was like, nigga, better not be no holes up in this motherfucker, right? So this nigga taking me up on the roof, and sure as shit, there's a hole on the motherfucking roof. And I'm like, what? And so guess what we got to do? We got to get the roof fixed before we can get these solar panels that we've already paid for up on this motherfucker, okay? So we got to get the roof fixed. My wife, Stormy, who, you know, this is going to be her task because she handles business. If it was up to me, I'll just call the roofing company. But she went through the HOA, went through all the proper channels, right? And got the roof approved, and we got the roof fixed. So yes, your roof has to be a certain color and shit like that. Your house has to be a certain color when you have an HOA, depending on the severity of the situation. So we get the roof fixed. Roof is fixed, done, weeks pass, maybe even a month. Knock, knock, knock on my door. I look at the Ring camera like, who the fuck is that? Right? I don't recognize this nigga. So I go to the door. He's like, hey, yeah, I'm Charles from the HOA. I'm like, what's up, Charles? How can I help you? He's like, well, I just wanted to tell you that your roof's the wrong color. You can't believe this shit? This nigga tell me my roof's the wrong color? The roof's the wrong color. And so my wife sees me getting agitated talking to Charles, right? And I don't know nothing about the proper channels or nothing like that. I know we paid. Google how much it costs to get a roof, right? On a 4 or 5 bedroom house. Google that shit, okay? So we got our roof done, and the roof is done. This motherfucker Charles comes up and says, your roof is the wrong color. Well, that's unfortunate, Charles, because the roof already up there. What the fuck you think I'm gonna do? Take the bitch down? Change the color? Shit. Stormy feels me growing, stewing. So Stormy, like, she must have been watching from the Ring camera or something like that, because then she comes out, because I ain't inviting this nigga in my house. So then she comes out, and she's like, oh, no. We went through all the proper channels, and Stormy is a receipts type of lady. She has the receipts. She shows up with the receipts like, hey, so Charles, we spoke to blah, 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 whoop, 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 and we got the approval. And he's like, oh, well, they shouldn't have approved that. I'm supposed to approve it, but I was out of town. Well, that's tough shit, Charles. Tough shit. Because we went through all the proper channels, and we done paid an exorbitant amount of money to get this roof fixed so we can now have solar panels put up on this motherfucker, okay? So I don't give a fuck about what the color is. And so we stand out in the neighborhood. Niggas roll through and they look at us like, oh, look at that roof. That roof's different there. That's us, right? But this is the type of shit that they don't tell you about in adulting. When I grew up, we didn't have a HOA. You know what I mean? We didn't have a homeowners association. They didn't give a fuck. Your grass could be as long as it wanted to be. You could never cut that shit. We had a cat lady. We had a lady with an alligator in our neighborhood, right? She stayed next to the candy lady. We heard all kind of stories about it. We didn't have no fucking HOA in my neighborhood where I grew up at. So, Charles, I understand you just doing your job, but what was your end game? Coming and knocking on my door to tell me my roof's the wrong color for your ego to make me feel bad, like, oh, I just want. I wish I could have seen him walking away with that egg on his face when Stormy was like, "Yeah, no, Cheryl approved that. Yeah, you can see here, Cheryl." Like, well, Cheryl shouldn't. I took tough shit, Charles. That's on you and Cheryl. Go talk to her ass. Get a new person. And these niggas is volunteers. I'm pretty sure the HOA people. I don't know if they get paid. If they do, they need to be fired. But this nigga coming up to my house with his hands behind his back. One of them niggas walking with their hands behind their back. Well, hey, I just want to tell you, fuck you and everything about how you feel right now, all right? The roof up there, right? I don't give a fuck about how you feel at this point. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down that rabbit hole. What I want to say, though, is like, life is tough right now for everybody, right? And I want to point out that we all going through this together, and there is no manual. We don't know. I don't have the answers. I'm not coming. Maybe Charles was appropriate. Maybe Charles was right, because that's what he's supposed to do. He got to come and say something. Still, fuck you, Charles, respectfully. But I don't have all the answers. None of us have all the answers. We just figuring this out together. You know what I mean? We all just going through all of this together. We not lazy. We not broken. There's nothing wrong with us. We just figuring it out. As I told you, the world changed, but the rules have stayed the same. The world has changed, but the rules have stayed the same. And that's just fucked up, right? And we got, in America, a divided country based on some shit that don't even matter. We are all human beings right now going through this human experience, and y'all worried about some red and some blue. Y'all just as bad as these niggas in the neighborhoods I came from. How are y'all different? How are y'all better? Y'all still polarized. Y'all still can be controlled, right? You still picking a side. I picked the side of peace. I picked the side of humans. I picked the side of empathy, of people, right? And giving ourselves grace. We not broke. We not lazy. We are just in a system that is set up on some old shit. And that old shit was set up for certain types of people to fail. So that system, how it worked, was not set up for the majority of us anyway, right? So give yourself some grace. Give yourself some patience, because, nigga, we all in this shit together. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I see, like I said, coaching a basketball team, I see parents, and I'm like, hey, your kid need a ride, your kid need this, your kid need that. Like, hey, we can, if I got some surplus or I got a little to help where I can, might not be money, might be a service, might be a skill, but help out. We a community, right? We are a global human community. Help out where you can help out. You know what I'm talking about? I tell you, this is mixed signals, man. And just us getting our wires crossed. If you like this type of content, fuck with your boy. My name is Cedric Maurice Hill, on YouTube, Facebook, TikToks, all the things, right? Fuck with your boy, Cedric Maurice. Like and subscribe. Link in the description. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, fuck with me. This is Mixed Signals. All right. Next episode, I might talk about parenting or this fucking youth sports athletics. But like and subscribe. Mixed Signals. It's your boy Cedric.